Gotcha. I kind of figured as such, given that your application is built on top of MetaMask, but just making sure. All right, next question: DAG nodes or Ethereum nodes? If you had to invest
Dag,
into one, DAG all the way.
dag all day. Yep, you already know.
I would actually go Ethereum.
All right, interesting. What makes you go Ethereum over DAG and vice versa?
For me,
Go ahead,
Ethereum.
Larry. I'll let you stand first.
I'm a I'm kind of a sure thing type of guy. Yes, DAG. I think it has awesome potential. Um, but Ethereum, it's kind of a monster already in the industry and kind of proven already. So that's what I like. ETH.
I also am a sure thing type of guy, and I think that the Air Force guy isn't taking into account the Air Force contracts. Air Force contracts, man, the government always pays its contractors, dude. Even if it doesn't pay its own bills, it pays the contractors. So let's go.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Let's see. Next question is: if you could choose to be the best salesman in the world or the best marketer in the world, what would it be and why?
Marketer. Marketer, it's a higher skill set. It's much more needed than a salesman. A salesman, is like a salesman is a marketer, but a marketer, okay, you can be the best marketer and still be a good salesman, but you can be a good salesman and be a terrible marketer.
That's very true. That is very true. How about you, Larry?
Go with marketer, just because I kind of got. I have experience with like affiliate marketing and doing that type of stuff, running ads, and to me, it's a overall good skill set to have. Yes, salesmanship is absolutely key. Actually, that's a big reason that I look at myself. I'm a laid back. I'm kind of a cool, collected type of guy, and I'm not really a type A personality, and that's a lot of big reason why Mr. Wolfer here is why I asked him to be part of this. Is he has that skill. It's a tough skill to to me, a salesman, you're either born with it or you're not. I don't really think it's something that it's learned. With a marketer, I think people can learn that, which is a good thing.
Plus, you can, like, as a marketer, you can market yourself more, if that makes sense. Like, with a salesman, all you're doing is selling. But with marketing, you can be CMO. You can be a collective, like an actual, like people can contract you to come in and advise them on how to market. And I get that you can do that with sales too, but marketing is just a much broader aspect. That's all I've got to say.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And I also brought Austin Clark on stage here. He's going to be co-hosting this one with me.
Dude,
So,
that's my guy, man. I have absolutely no problem with that. Austin is an absolute legend in my book, so he can be on every AMA stage with me for all I'm concerned, man.
yeah, he's been a phenomenal addition to the Cardinal House team, and we're super happy to have him with us. So, welcome to the stage, Austin.
I've been waiting
That's
for
honestly,
Austin.
that's
Austin,
honestly all I needed. I'm about to leave now.
I've been waiting for Austin to come up on stage and start talking when we do some of these AMAs. I feel like he's been kind of stalking us a little bit.
Bro, I'm everywhere, Larry.
Wolfpack.
I'm everywhere.
He is Wolfpack, dude. Wolfpack family all day. Austin, and by the way, I'm gonna give Austin his props. I've done it multiple times, but I feel like almost like I need to do it again. Austin made the best video on Wolfer Finance, period. So that's just that. That's facts, and nobody can tell me any different. I've said it from day one too. That's not just today.
Yeah, he's very good at making videos, but he can't do a burpee right. So,
Oh,
Yeah.
there's pros and
man.
cons to him.
There's only one thing that separates my videos from Austin, and that's fart jokes. So
Fair enough. Fair enough. Next question on the AMA polls is: do you eat mac and cheese with a fork or a spoon? And yes, there is a right answer.
okay, so I'm Italian, so I don't really eat mac and cheese. So it's a really hard question for me to answer. But if we're talking pasta, you actually eat it with both. Spaghetti you eat with a fork and a spoon. Just so you know, it helps you corral the pasta. So yeah, if we're talking spaghetti, linguine, stuff like that, long pasta, you eat with both. If it's regular pasta like spiral pasta, stuff like that, ziti's, pennes, stuff like that, then I eat it with a fork. It's a little bit easier to corral.
How
See,
about
mac and cheese, you got to eat it with a spoon because you're refining your agility skills. Because when you get down to those like the last 5 or 6 noodles, you got to fight for it. You really got to put in the effort to get that.
I
Larry's
want to
very
hear what
passionate about
Austin's
this
got to
subject.
say. I gotta hear Austin's answer.
Bro, I use a fork all day. I don't know what Larry's talking about over here. I go for precision, right? I go in for the kill, and I don't need to be playing around with my food, all right?
Dude, this is the most unique intro to an AMA. I'm having a blast, man. I love this. I'm dying out. I'm gonna have crow's feet at the end of this. Like
Austin, with this spoon, that first couple bites, you just shovel it in. I mean, you load up that spoon and you just get at it.
It's efficient. It's efficient.
Fork. What are you gonna get? You're gonna get what, 5, 10 noodles, but a spoon.
I get it from both perspectives because then with the spoon at the end, you can also get the rest of the sauce, bro.
Yep.
So I get it.
You can scrape it.
Yep.
I feel like Larry and I would be really good buddies if we met up. Spoon
Austin,
gang for life.
Austin, try scraping with your fork.
I will die on this hill.
Nice.
All right. Next question is Spotify or Apple Music?
I don't listen to either of them. I actually use YouTube, bro. Believe it or not, I swear to God, I am such a Viking with technology, though, dude. I refuse to use all that stuff because I don't know, man. I'm resisting. I'm resistant.
Dude, you're gonna have to change your answers, your answers, Drew. We're in a technology company.
I know. Well, I'm still going to use PreSend, but I'm just not going to use Spotify. And I want to watch music videos, bro. Like, if I'm watching if I'm listening to Young Jeezy put on, I want that music video on, baby.
Do you at least have YouTube Red so you don't have ads interrupting?
Absolutely. 100%.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Spotify guy. I'm anti-Apple still.
Me too.
I'm old school.
All right, I like it. Austin's probably going to come in here and be like, yo, YouTube.
Nah, absolutely not. Me and Larry can agree on this one. I like Spotify. Spotify, good with their podcasts. I like how it all is. Apple, I don't know. It's kind of disgusting.
Yeah, I don't have any Apple products either, so I couldn't even comment on it if I wanted to.
I'm right there with you. All right, Street Smart or Book Smart?
Street.
I'll go with Street too.
Yeah.
It goes with my favorite saying, man. If you can't pick out the sucker in the room, you are the sucker.
That's very true. Very true. I'd agree with you guys. I am very much learn as I kind of experience things.
Yep.
I learn by doing, and I think I would classify that as street smart, and I think that's definitely the way to go.
That is what I classify as trial by fire, and that is how I have learned every unique skill set that I have is trial by fire.
Yeah, it's the way to go.
Also with Street Smart, a lot of the things I think that we learn is just like Drew just said, it's from experiences that a lot of those experiences are mistakes, and mistakes seem to stick out in our minds a lot more versus we seem to forget, good things, and it's always kind of the bad things that, oh man, I screwed that up. So street smarts, definitely.
Yeah, think about this. Let's go from a military perspective, Larry, really quick. Do you want the guy that's been in 30 battles leading you into battle, or the guy that read about strategy and has a master's degree in like military strategy or something like that?
So an officer?
Yeah, basically. I'm talking about the guy that's got your back in the battle. You see what I'm saying? Obviously, you want that guy like kind of pulling the strings behind the scenes, but you know what I mean? Like, there's a big difference in between being there and doing it and just seeing it and watching it. And this goes to one of the things that I always say, dude, and it's one of my favorite things to say whenever people are like, oh, dude, people are going to copy Wolfer Finance. And I'm like, that's cool. Just because you watch Bruce Lee videos doesn't mean you know how to do Jeet Kune Do, my friend. So go ahead.
That's a really good point. But yeah, I would agree with you. I think learning based off of actually doing the activity is much more effective than reading about it or something like that. So
Definitely.
would agree. All right, Bitcoin or Ethereum?
I'm a Bitcoin guy.
Bro, neither. But I mean, if I have to pick one, like I gotta pick Bitcoin. You know what I mean? And I think ETH is gonna flip. Eventually. I think here's the problem, man. It's hard to compare those two because Ethereum has such a different use case than Bitcoin does. I think Bitcoin becomes like digital gold. I think Ethereum becomes like the new internet, right? The new operability of like smart contracts and stuff like that. So it really just depends. Are you talking asset or are you talking technology and functionality? Man, that's a tough question, bro.
If you had to hold one, if you went all in on one, which one would it be?
I don't think there's a wrong answer on either of those, but I think in terms of like longevity of growth and ability to like exponentially go higher, I would pick Ethereum all day.
All right.
Boo.
Bro, it just has more
No.
use cases, man. It has chains. You know what I mean? Like people build on it. They have to pay gas fees. They have to, every time you do these apps and stuff like this, dude, you got to pay Ethereum to do it, man. It's kind of like picking in between like Binance coin and just like some other coin, like, you know what I'm saying? Because Binance has so many use cases. They let you pay for trading fees. They have the Binance Smart Chain where it's the native currency on it. They have more use cases for the coin to go up and appreciate in value. That's where I see Ethereum as different.
How short-term memory do you have? We literally just had this phone call conversation yesterday about talking about the BRICS nations and what are they going to use to trade and settle purchasing of commodities and oil. Bitcoin.
Yeah, but that's not
Bitcoin. These are countries trading, settling debt in Bitcoin. What do you think is going to happen to the price of Bitcoin? It's going to go through the middle.
Let's get it.
You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong either way.
Yeah.
How about you, Austin?
Oh man, I was honestly staying quiet to hope I wasn't gonna get asked because it's such a hard one, Just basically what Drew said. It's like Bitcoin. Honestly, I've always even been like I've always disagreed with the answer that Bitcoin is a store of value, right? Because it's a really subjective viewpoint, I think, right? Because like a store of value, in my opinion, is I want to put money into something that I can rely that value is going to stay the same value as when I take it out. Rather as investment, right, is something where you're betting and gambling on the fact that it's going to increase in value. So I see Bitcoin kind of like what Drew said is kind of like the digital gold, right, where it's never going to go away because it was the market maker. It was the giant that started crypto in the first place. So, and obviously it has a finite supply, so it's not going to be, minted to oblivion. So if I had to choose either one, I would say Bitcoin if I was just a buy and hold, having money parked somewhere to, over the course of years, increase in value. I'd say that.
All right, that's a good analysis. Good analysis. What is your guys' risk score or risk tolerance on a scale of 1 to 10? We got a bunch of D-gens in the chats. We got 1, 7, and 8, and 3 10s.
God
Four.
damn.
Oh yeah, 3.
Ugh. Mine's not high, bro. Like, I mean, you can see like the business that I built, right? We're masternoding with Ethereum, AVAX, FTM, Chronos, Flux, AVAX, and um, DAG, right? So I guess whatever you would classify that as, because that's what my personal portfolio. See, I'm all about the long game. I'm okay with taking a hit in the interim, not taking chances, because you got to remember also, dude, I've been poor and I've been okay, and I choose okay every single time, right? So I would rather maintain my status, not take chances with it, because at the end of the day, I have a wife and a child and a mom and a brother and a niece and just a family to take care of, and now I have thousands of investors to take care of. So I'm probably not a good gauge of the market on that question, because my risk tolerance is going to be cumulative of thousands of people, because I have to, have fiduciary intent for those people, right? So mine is very low. My risk tolerance is not going to be high in terms of taking major risks, especially with other people's money.
See, this is why me and Drew make a good team, because I'm I'm the opposite. What is that? Opposites attract, I guess. I'm a risk taker. The key thing is I'm a calculated risk taker. I will never put myself or my family or anything in jeopardy. The only thing that I will risk is, I guess, the whole money you can afford to lose type thing. So, but at risk taking, man, boy, it's fun.
It is fun, but I'll take risks in other aspects of my life. Like, you know what I'm saying? I would rather take a risk with like my time or with my body, I guess, like something like that, rather than risk something that is going to could potentially be a detriment to my family, right? Or our status, social status, our ability to live the life that we are living and stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't ever really think of myself, man. You know, I just really
Well,
don't.
part of my risk taking actually is a good kind of intro to PreSend
Yeah.
with my answer is, we could have went the route of trying to recreate the wheel, uh, or just making something that's already out there better. But it's just in my personality is I want to create something new. I want to be the first person to bring something to the market, and it's tough because you got to like explain the benefits. You got to explain like everything, and you're not just informing people of, hey, what your product is. Like, you got to truly educate and really get people to understand the everything behind it. And like some of the things like right now that a lot of people, they look at PreSend as just, okay, this is only going to protect transactions. And one of the things that Drew always says is, look, this is a software company that just happens to be on in crypto, not the other way around. And that's the thing with PreSend is it's not just going to be a one trick pony type thing. That we want to continue to innovate, continue to add features, and continue to be the first to do X, Y, and Z when it comes to some type of wallet and transaction safety.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, I really like the whole idea and the approach to PreSend, and I think that what you just touched up on is very crucial in that, continuing to improve the product is what's going to keep it relevant for the long term. So I really like that mindset. And one last question before we dive into, what PreSend really is and the business model behind it is, what do you define as success, or what is your definition of success?
Let me go first, Drew.
Go
So
ahead.
success to me in crypto, it's this kind of sounds cheesy, and this isn't I promise you this isn't scripted, but to me, it's truly helping people and helping the crypto market get bigger, better, more people come into it because I think Drew says this, a rising tide raises all ships. So if we can put out a product that is going to make the average person feel good and safe, that let them come into the market, maybe just dabble a toe in the market, like I feel like my job's done. I've made my small imprint on the crypto market. Go ahead,
Cool,
Drew.
man. All right, so I don't know how much people know me. So I'm gonna assume that you know nothing of me. Okay, and we'll just take it from there. I define success a lot different than the majority of people do. I literally define my success as being able to look myself in the mirror and know that I'm doing the right thing every single day. I define my success by my actions with other individuals, right? How I treat people. I define my success by, do I do right by my family? Can I sit down at that dinner table right in front of me every single night, look at my wife, look at my son, and know that I have their respect, right? And same thing similarly with, the rest of my family, and then obviously the people that I'm in business with, right? My success is my integrity. My success is entirely derived from doing the right thing and actually being the change in the market, the change in whatever industry that I am in, literally being the face of that, right? And knowing that I'm doing that. So I always say this because like I'm big into Greek mythology, and I fancy myself, as half a warrior, right? And I always think of this as if I were to go back in time and I were to meet Achilles, right, on the battlefield, and he asked me, why will I remember your name, right? Well, Achilles, you'll remember my name because of Wolfer Finance and PreSend, right? That is my legacy. So whereas a lot of people define success as, oh, I'm the CEO, oh, I'm, a millionaire, oh, blah, blah, blah. I do not value any of that. At the end of the day, my success is in my relationships. So
I like that. I like that. How about you, Austin? I'm gonna put you on the spot again.
Yeah. I mean, simply put, I think the way I view success is just my ability, and this is just me, for my personal beliefs, is my ability to impact as many people as my life here on this earth, is how many people I can impact in the most positive way possible, through all the different cool little talents and gifts that I have. Right. And, because I mean, we all love to say and hear the saying, like, we want to change the world, but, I'm a realist slash partial optimist. And I feel like pretty much everybody on this world, like it's like an extremely impossible task, right, to change the world, but it's not an impossible task to strive to, help as many people as possible and impact them in any way possible. Right. So I think that's
yeah,
how I measure it, is how I can impact people on a grand scale with the tools I have set in place from what God gave me.
I like that, man. Hey, even if, because you're right, 100%, not everybody can change the world, right? Not every single individual person out of these 7+ billion people can change the world. But there might be an action that you take today that could change the world, the trajectory for one single person, right? So I get exactly where you're coming from. And at the end of the day, I always say this, like, we're born to die, guys. In the meantime, it's all about what you do. So no one in ever, like in the history of man, has gone to their grave and then their headstone said, like, CEO of Wolfer Finance. No, that's not the stuff that it says, right? It says loving husband, dedicated father, family man, stuff like that. Devoted wife, right? Stuff like that. So if you think about it, and I know that's a very like dark way to think about it, but like when you go, right? what are people gonna say about you? They're not gonna say, oh well, he was the CEO of Wolfer Finance. Oh, that's really cool. No, he was always there for his kid, kicking the soccer ball with him and playing with him in the pool and stuff like that. And he was always there for his wife and blah blah blah. So.
Yeah, I like that. And I think the beautiful thing is that success is a relative term, right? We all are able to figure out what that means to us on an individual level. And I think that it's something that's very important to figure out and figure out what drives you to that success. But yeah, I like these conversations for sure. You get to hear a little bit more about the teams behind the projects that come on, and it's always a fun chat.
Yeah, me too, man. I'm enjoying it. And hey, ya bonks, I see you down there. I'll see you in an hour and 30 minutes for our AMA as well, my friend.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Yabonks does some phenomenal work with his channel too. So shout out to Yabonks. But yeah, with that being said, let's jump right into what PreSend has. Give us a 10,000 foot overview of what you guys are doing, and then we can dive into the nitty gritty of things from there.
Larry, you want me to do this?
Go for it.
All right, so I'm gonna give you guys the the whole spiel, right? The elevator pitch, if you will, right? This one's all about wallet transaction security. I got this thing memorized, man. I've done this so many times. PreSend literally stops transactions from being lost in the blockchain due to incompatible chains, coins, wallets, whatever. Think if you're sending like Polygon Matic on ETH chain from a Polygon wallet, accidentally, boom, all your coins are gone. Well, we stopped that. It's literally patented, it's functional, and it's ready to rock. Simply go to the website, click launch PreSend, connect your wallet, bam, transactions. You can try it on testnet right now. The Chrome extension will be out in a few weeks as well, automating the entire process forevermore. You don't have to worry about anything, and it does way more than just protect transactions. We're talking honeypot detection. We're talking, Larry, what was that thing that you told me? There was a technical term for it.
Address spoofing.
Address spoofing protection. We'll also be doing signatory transactions for like large transactions. So we want it to be a one-stop shop, right? Now this thing will be compatible. We're only targeting Chrome and MetaMask first because they have the largest market share, okay? This will be compatible with your grandma's BlackBerry from 1994. Do not get it twisted. We are going to be compatible with everything. That means exchanges, that means hot wallets, that means cold wallets. That means all wallets, all types of devices. That means every single one of the different browsers, okay? So there's no more test transactions because that takes time. And I know a lot of people are like, well, I'll never use PreSend because I'll use a test transaction. That's cool. All right, go send $1,000 then and do a test transaction and waste 15 minutes of your life. If you use PreSend for same said test transaction, it automates it. It does it in a fraction of a second. You don't have to worry about it. It costs you $1.02 because it's a 2-cent guaranteed fee, 1/10 of a percentage of the aggregate. So think if you're sending $100, 1/10 of a percent, that's 10 cents. And then the 2 cents. So you send 12, it costs you 12 cents to do this. So essentially, basically, whenever people say, oh, I'll just send a test transaction, what that tells me is that you're not valuing your 5 to 15 minutes of your time, your life, time that you never get back, and time that you can't get more of, because you can always get more money. You can't get more time. It just is what it is, right? It's like a battery, and it's not rechargeable. Then you're valuing your 5 to 15 minutes at less than $1.02. All right, if you're sending $1,000, that's weird to me. All right, my 5 minutes is worth a lot more than $1. My 15 minutes is definitely worth a lot more than $1. So that's not an argument, just so that everybody knows. Now, this literally stops people from wrecking themselves accidentally. Enough said. That's all I really need to say, because it's no more fat-fingered mistakes, because PreSend checks to make sure that the wallets are compatible. PreSend checks to make sure the recipient wallet is actually on the correct chain and accepts the correct chain. Now, just because those checks pass doesn't mean it goes through, because just because those 2 checks passed and it's on the correct chain does not mean that that wallet accepts that coin on that chain. So it checks that too. Then it does a small test transaction. Again, all of this in fractions of a second. If all of those pass, it goes through. No problem. You don't even see it working, and it does its thing. Now, that one fateful day where you have a bad transaction, and let's be real, it's happened to everybody. There's nothing to be ashamed about. It's happened to me. It's happened to Larry. It's happened to almost everybody in this market, okay? That one fateful day, whenever that pops up, you're going to be glad that you were paying PreSend 10, 12 cents, 5 or 10 times or however many times you transact, because when it saves you that $100, it's going to pay for your next 833 $100 transactions, right? So it pays for itself. Now, there's dividend pools, there's affiliate programs, and the net income is shared with our investors and our marketing affiliates. The entire market is our market. There's two things you have to do in crypto to participate. One, you have to get your money in. You have to transact on a chain. Where does that transaction go? Some wallet somewhere, okay? So if you're transacting on a chain with a wallet, then PreSend is for you. That means that 300 million plus people is our target market. There's 80% of the crypto market out there that's not interested in your favorite DeFi Ponzi scheme, okay? There's 30% of the market probably out there that's not even interested in owning and holding Bitcoin, all right? But every cryptocurrency market participant has to have a wallet and has to transact on a blockchain in order to participate. So with that being said, our glow up, our trajectory, absolutely insane. Now, there's milestone bonuses considering active users, all right? Every milestone we hit, the dividend pools for investors and affiliate get paid double. Everyone makes double the income in that month for that month that we hit said milestone. Those milestones starts at literally 50,000 users. They tier up 100K, 250, 500, 750, 1 million, goes to 2.5 million, 5 million, 7.5 million, all the way up to 10 million and beyond. But let's get to 10 million first, because then we'll keep the milestones going. So that's a high-level overview of what PreSend is, what it does. I'll let Larry add some of the technical jargon if he would like to. If not, we can move on.
Drew, take a breath, man. Jeez.
I was breathing a lot.
No, I think he summed it up there in 30 seconds. Good job.
Yeah, no, I think that is a phenomenal summary of what you guys do, and the reason of why somebody would want to use your platform versus not use it. I think there's a pretty clear argument there. What did you get, or my question is, did you guys think of the idea of PreSend before or after MetaMask announced that they were allowing people to build applications on top of MetaMask? I'm just curious.
The original, the whole story, I originally came up with the idea with PreSend, and it came from the second time that I lost money. Like the very first time, I don't count that. I was a complete newbie, but the second time I lost like $139. I swear I could have swore that I was on ETH trying to send to Coinbase. I wasn't. Lost it, and then I started looking for a solution, something just to protect me from being stupid, or the whole issue is I was in a hurry, and we all get into this, oh, I've done this a million times, and you just work clicking MetaMask and selecting the coin and putting in the amounts and all that, and I made a mistake, and so I was looking for a solution of something that would kind of protect me from myself, and that's when I kind of found that there's nothing like this out there, and PreSend was born. The very first thing the very first solution that I was looking to do was because I use MetaMask. I had my ledger connected to it, and I use MetaMask for everything. I wanted to do somehow a way to incorporate this into MetaMask so I don't have to think about it, or I could just install it and let it go and let it protect me. So or very early on, MetaMask Snaps was my target, because I want to get rid of the security fear that people have. I know I've already seen it already a couple times of people saying, oh, I'm not connecting my wallet to something. Well, you connect your wallet every time you go to a DApp. So, and PreSend does the exact same thing. You're giving us read-only access, so we're only reading the transaction. Think of PreSend as kind of like a middleware, where you're sending the transaction. You're the one clicking confirm or putting in your uh, uh, ledger and authorizing the transaction. All PreSend is doing is it's like giving you a one last double check, a once over, looking over the transaction, making sure everything's cool, and then everything is, boom, it goes on its way. If not, we're giving you a second chance to cancel the transaction and don't lose anything. So MetaMask, I wanted to, from the get-go, I wanted it to be incorporated into MetaMask Snaps. Well, at the time I didn't know MetaMask Snaps. I just wanted some way to incorporate it within MetaMask, and MetaMask Snaps just happened to be the way to do it.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, convenient timing for MetaMask to roll out with that feature.
It's actually been out for a little while, but no one used it. No one's really built on it. Like, the only Filecoin is the only like real use case snap. There's only 3 of them, and like 2 of them are just like dummy or example snaps. Filecoin only has the other one. The other thing that I think this is going to really help us, and ultimately, we want a partnership with MetaMask. If MetaMask, if they decide to pick this up, because the whole purpose of MetaMask Snaps, I should probably back up, is to allow developers to expand the capabilities of MetaMask. That's what we're doing. So in the MetaMask Snaps, it's kind of like a proving ground. It's a test ground to prove your software that people adopt it, people are using it, and if people are using it, then that's when MetaMask is going to say, oh, hey, look, this is providing a lot of value to our customers. We're going to roll it into the main MetaMask. And of course, since we have a patent pending on it, they just can't take it and you start using it for free. They need to work out some deal with Mr. Wolfer, and he keeps on claiming that he's going to. I probably shouldn't use the words that he's said, but going to get a good deal for the people who get involved with PreSend.
Yeah, we are the Snaps golden child at the end of the day. We are the proving ground. So we're the ones that are going to prove it. We are the first movers, and MetaMask is going to basically flagship us. And they're going to be like, look, these guys came in and they're doing what it's supposed to do, right? Please continue to do so, and here's your reward, right? So it's kind of holding their feet to the fire. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's super awesome. And I did not realize that it's been out for a while and people just weren't utilizing it, because there's a lot of really cool things that I could imagine that could be built on top of MetaMask, such as PreSend or a lot of other different wallet features that people build entire new wallets just to solve those problems. So it's interesting. So
and sorry if you guys hear like crazy weather in the back. I live in Miami, so like just randomly it's bright and sunny out, and then it'll just start hurricaning out of nowhere. So, and it'll shake the house. It gets wild here, so nothing I can do about it.
Oh, it's all good, all good. But with developing PreSend, obviously you have a massive target audience. What is your plan to get or to reach that target audience? Because that, I can't imagine, is an easy task. So I'm curious to hear the marketing plans there.
So I mean to the lay person, right? To the person that's not in marketing, to the person that may not have a social media brand, that may not have launched successful projects before, may not be a business owner that has scaled businesses, stuff like that. I would assume that this would seem a daunting task, right? But in my opinion, I do not think it is that daunting. And that's because I've been here before and I know where we're going and I know how to get there. Is the trajectory going to be, immediately like a straight line? Absolutely not. It never is. It's business. It's just how it works, and especially with softwares, right? Now, the main way to do this is PreSend is not that hard of a sell, okay? You're protecting people, and you're also offering up something that is not being offered up in any facet of the market. Now, if you can prove widespread adoption, not even widespread. I'm talking like 100,000 users, right? And then MetaMask integrates it itself. It's done because now there's 30 million wallets, 30 million users that this has. In order to use MetaMask, this is now, they just rolled out as an update. This is now integrated into MetaMask, right? So it's like, dude, it's like almost like a hostile takeover, right? Now, at the end of the day, how do we get there? Doing exactly what we're doing right now. Spreading the word, going to AMAs, getting influencers to go out and beat pavement and preach the PreSend gospel. They do that through two ways. They integrate us into their videos. They integrate us into their posts. They push their affiliate link, which makes them money. Okay, so with this affiliate link, it's much different because no one has to spend money in order to use your affiliate link. They go, they download the wallet, and, you know, if they transact and do things, yeah, of course they're spending a little bit of money, but we're talking pennies. You don't have to spend 500 euros like you do with the yield nodes affiliate, right? It's not like that. So the conversion rate on this affiliate is way different, right? Then you start getting massive partnerships. We already have a partnership with Chainlink. Let's be real. Once they announce that, because this is strategic, we haven't had them announce it to their community yet. Why? Because we don't want them to announce it until they can say, hey, use this link and download PreSend. You see what I'm saying? So man, widespread adoption, that's all about marketing. That's all about budget, right? And we're going to have the marketing budget because we're going to be raising millions of dollars through the NFT raise and the institutional raise. And then it just comes down to do your job, right? As a business owner, as a business scaler, as a market and development type of company, right? With the software. So I honestly don't think it's going to be as daunting as a lot of people do. And again, you know, I'm biased because I've been here before. So
yeah, it definitely makes sense. And like you said, I think the biggest key piece there is potentially that partnership with MetaMask, and then also just how easy of a sell it is because there's no upfront cost to get involved in PreSend. You can toggle it on and off, and then it's a very affordable, you know, to protect your assets, really. So
it's like you have health insurance, you have car insurance. Why aren't you protecting and securing your transactions on the blockchain? Like, you're getting wrecked. Stop getting wrecked. It makes no sense. And then once one entity, bro, one entity picks it up, it's done. Everybody does because they have to. One big player picks it up and it's done. Everybody picks it up.
Yeah, Austin, I saw you unmuted.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so listen, just like Larry said, I've been in probably 4, maybe 5 PreSend AMAs. Anytime I look at investing in something, I always try to like listen from multiple angles. And this is something, obviously, as a disclosure, I feel like I'm personally going to put money into. So I like to get, you know, the sides of everything, right, and listen to how questions are answered and stuff. You know, I've already been through this with Drew with Wolfer Finance. So I guess one question I have for the team here is, because this product, it's patented, it's protected by you all as far as like, you know, this is proprietary to PreSend. No one can just sit here and fork it, right? Like everybody's scared of in the DeFi space when you have something unique. I guess my big question is, just like you say, Drew, how once one major player picks this up, it's going to kind of bleed that success over. What is your strategy other than just saying, hey, here's the software? Like, what are you trying to do to get to that main player, right? Because if you could get to somebody like, say, Coinbase or one of these main institutional, you know, crypto people, right, that if you got them on board, it would just be an easy sell going forward. Like, how do you get over that main hump so that way you can get to that, I guess, the tunnel vision of success?
Yeah, man. No, that's a great question. I appreciate that, Austin. So essentially what it comes down to is we're already targeting one partnership as is, right, which is MetaMask, because we're doing it in the right way from day one, right? So if we prove that, you know, 50,000, 100,000 users on MetaMask start using this within the first month or two, like, they're going to be calling me. I'm not going to be calling them, bro. They'll be calling us. Trust me. That's just how business works. And you know this from your own personal, like, I would rather people be beating my door down because that means that I have the position of power now, right? Secondarily, right? if we get widespread adoption. And by widespread, I don't mean widespread. I mean like 6 figures worth of users relatively quickly, right? It shows the use case where I can build out that model and say, look, this is what PreSend can do for you. This is a revenue stream. This is a protectionary measure for your, if you go to a exchange, you can literally say, look, how much money do you pay all of your support staff to be telling people basically we can't do anything for you whenever they lose all their money? You could literally, like, millions of dollars probably every month, right, in salaries for exchanges like that. Okay, take half of that and license PreSend, all right? And then charge a fee, right, for PreSend. Put whatever you want on it. Give us our fee. And then now you're not only saving costs, right? Because like you got to make it make sense for them too. And that's what they're all about,
Right.
saving money. So that's one of the easiest ways that I can go to exchanges, right? And say like, look, and we'll probably be in there like swimwear on crypto.com because guess what? Wolfer Finance is about to have a Chronos validator, baby. So you already know what time it is, right? That's a very easy segue for me to be like, hey man, I'm one of your 100 validators. I'd like to, come in and talk to you guys about this project we got that already has use case behind it, right? And already has everything, clicking. So that's essentially what we're looking at. Larry, I gotta get off of here because my son just got out of school. So I have to go pick him up, but I'm gonna have to let Larry take the rest of this.
Sure. I kind of felt, did everyone kind of get a feeling like every time there was some lightning, it was like Drew turning his head, looking, making sure like he's not going to get a lightning bolt on his head?
I guess that's the life of Miami, right?
Yeah, tough life.
Hey, so
just
Larry,
to add,
I just wanted to. Oh no, go ahead.
just to touch on that, and this kind of will answer some people's questions of, I get the question of, when Lambo, basically, how fast is this thing is it gonna print and all that type of stuff. Like, it's gonna take adoption. Like, that's why the whole reason that we're doing this NFT raise, it's to build that marketing war chest so we can really focus on myself, the team. We're not taking a bunch of money. This isn't a money grab. This is to build a huge marketing chest so we can hit, the banner ads, do, sponsor influencers, and just kind of take the same approach that like crypto.com did of just overwhelming the market of, getting people are going to get sick of seeing PreSend, like, oh god, another PreSend ad or something like that. Like, that's what it's going to take. But to get that partnership with that big, Binance or Coinbase or something like that, I think it'll be a little bit easier with MetaMask, considered we're going through the snaps. But to get something with another big player, if we can get that partnership with MetaMask, it's going to open the doors up. If you can get that stamp of approval from a MetaMask, I think the world was our oyster at that point.
Gotcha. And with that, and Zach, can you bring Drew back up here? He's raising his hand.
Yeah.
There we go.
My bad.
With like MetaMask, right? So that's pretty clear. That's your first main target client. So that way you can kind of get that adoption rolling. What does MetaMask benefit from? Obviously, the users are now protected by false transactions, erroneous transactions, whatever. But does MetaMask, can they simply have basically a new revenue stream where, like Drew was saying, they just tack on an additional fee? Or how does this make it a win for both you and MetaMask for wanting to adopt you? Does that make sense?
Seriously, you hit that right on the head, man. So a lot of MetaMask is an awesome business, awesome wallet. Consensus is a great company, right? But at the end of the day, they're very limited, right? If they don't start charging people on the wallet, which they can't do now that they've already made it downloadable for free. So how do they make money?
Drew, you keep on
you're
cutting
breaking
in
up
and
a
out,
bit,
man.
buddy. Yeah.
USDC to ETH in MetaMask, they take 87.51% of that as their fee, right? So this is an additional revenue stream for them that makes a lot of sense, especially in the sense of not everybody is swapping like all the time, but everybody is transacting all the time on MetaMask. So they can charge, a few cents. And if they're doing billions of transactions, and let's be real, they are every single year, man, they're going to make a lot of money. And so, yeah, it makes a lot of sense for them. And plus, it shows that they are the market leader in online wallets because they're consistently, and that's why they made Snaps and Flask, right? Because they understand that they can't stay stagnant in a technological market, right? This is essentially the tech boom only in crypto, right? So this is like the Facebooks and the Snapchats of crypto. So they understand that they have to consistently be innovating. And if they can make a one-stop shop where it's like, hey, we're the most protected wallet known to mankind, dude, their use case is exponentially greater, which gives them more users that come in. They can take market share from the trust wallets and all the other wallets of the world. And then because people are feeling, warm and fuzzy because they're protected, and then what they can do is they can get all those people to pay the pre-send fees, obviously, for the transactions, and then there's more people swapping. With a larger market share comes more income for MetaMask. So it's a win-win for them because they make money and they are the market leader in innovation, right?
Gotcha. Yeah. No, yeah, and I totally agree, man. Yeah, I think it's like where you're providing like an additional safety service, right? You're going to have people be like, oh, wow, now I can use MetaMask, which is once just a Google extension, but now not only is it a Google extension wallet that I can use, but now I can do it safely. So and it's like more beginner friendly. So yeah, that just opens up an entire new market of I can have my grandma use MetaMask.
Right.
Zach, I seen there was a bunch of AMA questions there. If you wanted to, I'll hand the mic back over to you.
Yeah, definitely. We do have quite a few questions to go over.
Yeah, sounds like Drew is dodging lightning bolts out there hurricane watching or hurricane chasing.
So the first question I have, and I guess this isn't necessarily a community question, but I think it's a question that's very important to cover, and kind of the last piece that would need to be covered before going into those community questions is how do people get into those pre-send NFTs? Because I believe you guys have a revenue sharing model with those NFTs to raise that marketing chest that you were talking about.
Yeah, we do. So we're doing 7,500 NFTs at $250 a piece. Now, with that being said, PreSend is partnered with Wolfer Finance and is partnered with Chainlink. Those are the only two partners that we have, and I want that to be 100% clear because I know a lot of people think that just because we go into a group or something and have an AMA with somebody that we might be partnered with them. I'm here to refute all of that and say there's two partnerships. PreSend is partnered with Wolfer Finance and Chainlink. Okay, so with that being said, we are giving the Wolfpack a week to mint before everyone else, right? Because I'm the man that I am, and I'm doing exactly what I said I would do for my investors, and with fiduciary intent, I'm giving them the ability to get in first, right? So with that being said, is there going to be NFTs during the whitelist? Is there going to be NFTs during the public sale? If there are, it's going to be very few. So it's going to be a mad dash. What I have done, right, in order to help facilitate this, because I have a lot of people that are coming to me like, hey man, I'm not going to be able to get in on this if Wolfer mints it out and there's nothing in the whitelist. Well, so I have opened up a channel inside of the Wolfer Finance Discord that anybody can access, right? And we can drop the link for it if you guys want to. Does not matter to me one way or another. If you want to get in on it, great. If you don't and it's not for you, I'm not going to, that's your opinion as a human being. So there's a channel inside of the Wolfer Finance Discord where as long as you have
$1,000 or more, you can get in on the institutional round. And that is because Wolfer Finance is also an institution. So we're raising in the institutional round. Anything over $50,000 can be an institutional investor. Now, Wolfer Finance by itself has already raised well over $50,000. So that's why we're opening it up to everybody and saying anybody and everybody can come in, participate, and be a part of this institution. And just go into that Discord channel, tell them what you want. It has to be in increments of $1,000 because that's how much the NFTs are worth in the institutional round. And that's that. That's about your best chance to get in, though. And then obviously get on the whitelist just in case if you don't have $1,000. But if you have $1,000 you're looking to allocate to something like this, I would suggest getting in on the institutional round, which closes on the 23rd, and then you'll never have a chance to get in on that again. And then the whitelist starts October 1st. That's when people can mint, and it's minting on Binance Smart Chain via BUSD.
Got it. Yeah, that definitely makes sense. And so how does that revenue share get allocated to those NFTs then? Is that 10% of the total revenue from PreSend goes back to those holders? Is that correct?
Yeah, so that's where Chainlink comes in. That's where our partnership with Chainlink comes in, because there's different pools, right? There's the institutional pool and then there's the retail pool. So there's two separate pools. So the institutional pool, if they raise the entire $2 million because it's capped at $2 million, and spoiler alert, we're already almost probably half of the way there by now. Man, they get 12.5% in their pool, and they have so many other perks. And if you want to know the perks, I'm not going to list them here. You got to go into the you can watch my AMA that I dropped yesterday, or you can go into the channel and they'll direct you to the AMAs as well, because it's a lot and it's too much for me to list in a short amount of time efficiently, right? So there's a lot more perks to being an institutional NFT owner over a retail NFT owner. And one of those perks is that they have a 12.5% dividend pool, whereas the retail holders have a 10% dividend pool. But also don't sleep on that, because every time it hits a milestone, that 12.5% and that 10% turns into 25 and 20% respectively in that month. And if we're doing our jobs right, we should be hitting milestones every month, baby.
That's awesome. Yeah. Definitely makes sense, and yeah, answers my question. With that, though, we can get into some of the community questions. So, Pi asks, someone mentioned about PreSend helping in optimizing gas fees in the last AMA. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Dude, this is one of my favorite questions. You said his name was Ty. Man, Ty, I appreciate that question. That was an alley-oop from Kobe in the NBA Finals in 2000. I'm Shaq. I'm throwing it down. I appreciate it, bro. So, yes, with the ability to, with all these transactions and all these wallets and all these different chains that this thing is going to be, facilitating for all of the users, there's going to be the ability to build an absolutely monstrous amount of data on gas fees and how much it costs to get a transaction through. So with that being said, over time and even very quickly, right, we should be able to optimize people's gas fees and be able to build kind of a grid on, hey, this date, at this time, this is what, type of gas fee you need in order for it to go through. And that isn't necessarily what is being recommended by the wallets, right? So, man, think about Ethereum, right? If you're sending $1,000, right, and it costs you, $1.02 to protect said transaction, and you're sending it to a Polygon wallet, right? And that ETH fee is $5 or $7 or something crazy like that, but we can get it down to $4 or $5 from that $7 price point. We just saved you $3. You paid us $1.02, but you actually saved $2. See what I'm saying? And I get it, on the other chains it might only be a few pennies, but this is where PreSend can literally kind of start paying for itself. We talked about how it could pay for itself from the revenue standpoint, right? Owning an NFT. Owning an NFT, you don't even have to ever pay a fee. So you already, if you send enough for $250 worth of transaction fees, PreSend NFT already paid for itself. There's that. Second, there's the way that it can pay for itself is by owning the NFT and generating income off of said NFT. Third way is literally what I just said right there by saving you on gas fees. And the fourth way is whenever we stop a transaction that you would have necessarily lost. If we stop a $100 transaction, it cost you 12 cents to stop that transaction. You didn't lose $100, and that $100 that we just saved you pays for your next 833 $100 transaction. Thanks, PreSend. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, that gas feature on Ethereum, that could be pretty huge. I mean, literally paying for itself plus some.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's exciting stuff, man. That's awesome. Appreciate the question, Pi.
It can do it on Bitcoin. It can do it on Bitcoin too, man. Like on Bitcoin transactions. Bitcoin's expensive too.
Yeah.
Hey, I wanted to throw one thing out there. This is kind of the point that I want to reemphasize with PreSend to people is these are the things we understand that certain features might be for certain people, but we're going to continue to build and continue to add more features and more benefits that we can, because maybe you don't like, okay, maybe you're cheap and don't want to pay, the dollar for the transaction fee. That's cool. But if you really like the idea of having honeypot protection, address spoofing, the saving on gas fees, the more features and the more innovations that we can include, it's just going to widen our net of allow more and more people to come in and use PreSend.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that you hit the nail on the head there, and appealing to all those different audiences under that same PreSend umbrella with the different features that you roll out is really what could push that mainstream adoption to, like Drew said, those 6 figures of holders or users, I should say.
Actually, one of the features, the secure send feature for like sending larger transactions, it was actually a recommendation from the community inside of PreSend. And that's what I'm really hoping for, is to build a very strong community that I can, lean on for input of suggestions, advice, testing stuff out. But one of the features, they were asking is, hey, how can I make sure that I'm sending to that right person without question? I know that they're going to get it. And so we don't have to, when we send that Bitcoin or the ETH, we don't have to do that 15-minute sweat every time. And we're looking at a way to do almost like a pin type transaction where people can, before you send it, you would actually create like a pin, and we would send that or email that to the recipient. Of course, you need to know their email address, and they would need to put in that pin before the transaction is actually sent. So, and that came from the community. I was like, awesome idea. Keep them coming. Help make my job easier.
Yeah, it is amazing how many phenomenal suggestions that the community has, and especially if you're open to them, they keep them coming because they see like, okay, this guy's actually receptive to my feedback. I appreciate that, and showing that appreciation really helps that relationship with the community. So I love it.
Yep.
Let's see, we get another question from Peter. He asks, since users opt into PreSend, what are you looking for from projects to collaborate with beyond the fact that they want to, or you want them to recommend PreSend to their community?
Man, okay, so there's a lot of projects out here that are building their own wallets. They're building their own dexes. They're building their own launch pads. They're building their own NFT platforms, okay? So they're going to run into all of these same issues, right? And there's most projects, we're the only crypto technical project that's launching right now that doesn't have some type of coin chain, something like that, right? And so they're going to run into these same issues where it's like, if you have a coin, dude, if you have a wallet, if you have a DEX, if you have an NFT marketplace, dude, PreSend is for you, because we have all of the things that basically combat people from losing their NFTs, their money, whatever it may be. So there's a lot more than just money that we can get from projects. There's a lot more than just a sponsorship or a, what I would call as like a deem of approval, right? Where they say, yeah, we think PreSend is awesome, right? Recommendation style. They can actually integrate us into their projects, and there's projects out there that have already hit us up for that exact reason, and they're smaller projects. Obviously, we're going for the MetaMask, but more projects we get to do that, the better, right?
Yeah.
I guess that would be a good thing to throw out there. I don't think we either Drew or I have covered it. PreSend, we're going to have basically this same functionality is going to be accessible through an API. And so when we launch the MetaMask plugin, we're going to have that API ready to go. So if a Coinbase does happen to stumble upon us and say, "Hey, we love this," we're we're ready to go for that partnership day one. That all they have to do is use our API, and of course, the software runs on our server, so it's ready for any type of partnership right now. If someone has a halfway competent developer, they can use our API and off to the races.
Yeah, I like that, and making it as easy as possible for people to integrate with it is only going to speed up that adoption process. So, I like that.
Yep. Try to make it easy as possible for them.
Yeah. Let's see. We got Pi. He asks another great question. Can you share some of your calculations on how long it'll take to get an ROI? I calculated that you'll need 20 million in volume, the 2 cents per the 0.2 cents cost per transaction. How long will you estimate it'll take to reach that? You're really muffled right now. I can't make out what you're saying.
Oh my God, the hurricane got him.
His phone is just in your hurricane.
Sounds like he's underwater.
Okay, so he said 2 cents per transaction, right?
Yeah.
20 million transactions. That's what I heard.
I don't know if that's volume of the transactions or total transactions. I guess he's asking what's your calculations on getting an ROI when you purchase one of the NFTs.
I mean, dude, I mean, that's a good question, and I wish it was something that we can answer, but it's not. Because first off, you can't guarantee returns as a United States-based company. It's illegal. Second off, there's no, this isn't a, traditional DeFi where they're like, oh, you're going to get 1% a day, so your ROI is in 300 days or whatever it is, or 30 days or whatever it may be, right? If you compound. So this is much different, and I want people to understand that because we're based off of transaction volume, and we can throw out numbers and statistics all we want, but at the end of the day, what it comes down to is somebody that transacts $100,000 transaction is going to bring in a much different fee than somebody that transacts for $50, right? So with that being said, I'll throw out some calculations for you really quick, just to basically answer the question. There's the top 24 blockchains right now in a bear market when they're transacting about 1/4 to 1/5 of what they were 8 months ago. Top 24 blockchains, we're talking the ETH, the AVAXs, blah, blah, blah. The top 24 blockchains in the top 100. They transact about 42.5 million times a day, which is about 14.6 billion transactions every single year, okay? Now, if we protected literally 1 billion transactions, all right, that's less than 7% of just those top 24 blockchains in a bear market with the adoption rate that we have right now, which is only 4% crypto adoption, 300 million market participants with 30 million MetaMask, right? Which is what we've targeted so far. That would literally, at $50 on average per transaction, that would bring in 7 cents per transaction, right? That would be $70 million. So the more transactions that we do,
the less those transactions actually have to be worth, right? Because we're in the volume game. We're not in the, oh, I want to protect one transaction and make $1 million. We want to protect 1 billion transactions or 100 million transactions and make 7 mil. You see what I'm saying? So with that being said, if we protected like 1 billion transactions in a year, right, which is not even close to out of the question because we're the only game in town, right? And with MetaMask picking us up, we're getting 1 billion transactions day one. That's going to be almost a guarantee, right? If we get MetaMask to pick us up. That would literally be $7 million for that dividend pool, the retail investors, and it would be like 8.5 million almost. It would be more than 8.5 million, 8.75 million for the institutional, and they would have raised 1.9 mil and 2 mil respectively a piece. So if that kind of gives you an idea on like what type of ROI people could be seeing, and this is in perpetuity, this is every single year. This isn't just like, oh, you get an ROI 1 year and then it never happens again, right? Like this is for life. So if you have an NFT, you're going to be getting, like, as long as you own that, like you're getting into that dividend pool forever. So with that being said, I mean, man, the trajectory of this, like go to your favorite DeFi. I promise you, go to your favorite DeFi. We're killing them. It's over. Like those guys, they can't even hold a torch to what we're about to do. And the difference in between our stuff and their stuff is we're not printing our own token. We have an inability to lie to you, right? Because we don't even have a token. We don't have any type of chain or anything where we can just print money off and distribute it to you like propped up style. We have to transact, and the blockchain is undefeated, so you'll be able to see that. So all these rebasing projects that are telling you like, hey, we'll give you X amount of percent, when they're all done and in the dirt, PreSend will be doing, you know, hundreds of millions of transactions and making people real money. And then people will be coming over begging PreSend like, hey, can I get in now? We'll say, no, man, that thing's closed. Sorry. Go buy it off the open market.
Gotcha. Yeah, those are some very interesting and intriguing metrics, especially, you know, like I said, that MetaMask partnership. I mean, you know, that 1 billion transactions is very, very feasible when you have MetaMask integrating it with all their transactions. That's exciting stuff, man.
We're doing math, man. Let me do one more thing for you, bro. This is gonna really beat it home
Drew.
for people. Yeah.
Drew, also touch on the market size.
Well, that's
okay.
That's what I'm about to do. And then I also want to touch on something else that's gonna really beat it home for him. So, okay, so say MetaMask decides like we want to buy you guys out. Right? So this is going to be a 9-figure exit, like literally $250 million, something stupid like that. All right. And what I'm telling you this, like this is, and if you know me and you know my track record, and I'm sorry if you don't, but if you don't, then go check about me. But you know that I always try to underpromise, right, and overdeliver. I always err on the side of caution when I'm doing calculations. So whenever I say that, you know, if MetaMask offers to buy us, it could be $250 million or $100 million, right? That's me being conservative, all right? And the reason I say that is because, look, right now, MetaMask has 30 million wallets, okay? And most of those wallets are users. And most of those users have more than one wallet. Most users have like 5 different wallets inside of MetaMask, but let's just say that they have 2, okay? We're just going to assume that they all have 2. Let's say that all 2 of those wallets that everybody has, it's 60 million users, active wallets, right?
Those wallets literally only transact 2 times. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Let's say that those wallets literally only transact 2 times a week, which, let's be real, most people transact more than 2 times a week. With that same $50, okay? That same $50 per transaction. That's literally 8 times a month per wallet. That's 480 million times that they're transacting every single month. This is just if MetaMask decides to buy it and they integrate it into their wallet, right? That's 480 million transactions per month. If they get that at an average of $50 per transaction, It's $33.5 million that they're bringing in just in the fees every single month. Their ROI is literally 8 months away. All right. If they buy our company for $250 million, their ROI is within 8 months. Okay. So, and those are at those conservative numbers of only transacting twice a week for $50, right? Each wallet. That's crazy. The fact that we've got 30 million active MetaMask users right now, and that there's only 300 million people in the market right now, when there's over 7 billion people in the world, it's a 4% global crypto adoption rate. This thing is Google in 98, okay? This thing is Google before the internet boom, right? And then you saw what happened during the internet boom. It like was 10xing users every single year, right? And we're doubling crypto market participants every single year. So by this time next year, we'll probably have over 500 million people, like 600 million people that are using crypto. So even if we just scale with the market and we only have 1 million users by the end of this year, and then the market doubles next year and we scale with the market, we double our people, right? And that's assuming that we just sit on our hands and do nothing and don't market it and don't do anything to scale it, which obviously we would never do that. So like the trajectory of this thing it's absolutely asinine, to be honest with you. Like, it's insane. So I just want people to understand like how early we are in the market right now, and how large of a buyout that a large company like MetaMask or like Consensus or Coinbase that's worth billions could actually afford to buy us and ROI within a few months, right? And still be able to afford us, because I'm working out, like, if we hit that milestone where we get a buyout, dude, you can guarantee all of those dividend pools are getting doubled up, right? Because, right, we don't have to market that, right? Because MetaMask is just making it a thing now. Then what I want is a portion of the net income every single month that MetaMask makes. And I'm not going to ask for that much. I mean, when they're making $35 million a month, if we even get 5% of that, I mean, that's $1.7 million every single month. That's how much you brought in during the retail NFTs, happening 12 times every single year, right? So I want that in perpetuity, or for, at the very least, for a while, for like 10 years or something like that, for our investors, for the people that came in and funded and helped us build the software, you know, and get it out to the global market. So I always think like 10 steps ahead on stuff like that. And I never step into a situation where I'm going to have to put my foot in my mouth. Like, I have the calculations to back up. I have the plans to back up everything that I say. And I think people are really sleeping on how big this thing could be. So yeah.
Yeah, that's very, very exciting stuff. That's really exciting to think about and play with the numbers, for sure. I don't know if you guys are numbers guys.
We need a PreSend calculator on the website.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
We need an APY calculator. Now, hey, Drew, Larry, do you guys have a date now? Because I've seen some people asking the question of when the NFTs are going to be released, because I know there's a Wolfer pre-sale, and it's there on the website if you guys want to go check, but it always helps to have the people on here to announce that. So when is the NFT release? How much is it going to be? And can you explain the difference, just really quick, of the difference of the price point between the retail and the institutional?
Yeah, absolutely. So with institutional, that's started. You can get institutional now, but the only way that you can get it if you have less than $50,000, look, you have to have at least $1,000. All right. And that's because you are going to, the only way that you can get in with $1,000 in $1,000 increments, less than 50K, is if you do it through Wolfer Finance. Now, me being the person that I am and trying to help people as much as I possibly can and facilitate everything from any aspect that is plausible, I opened this up so that people can get in, right? Because I understand that people are freaking out that the NFTs are going to mint out, they're not going to have their chance. I get it. So go into the Wolfer Finance Discord. All right, we'll drop the link and we'll give you an invite. Anybody can go in there, and as long as you have $1,000, or you can also do more than $1,000, but at increments, That's how you get into the institutional investor dividend pool. Now, I can't explain the difference because it takes way too long. Go watch my 30-minute video that I did yesterday. It's on my YouTube. Go to my live streams. You'll see it. And it says like Wolfer Finance X PreSend. That's the video. All right. It explains to you way further than I could do right here when I'm sitting in my car during a hurricane, right? Bringing my kid home. So, with that being said, there's massive differences, okay, in between spending $1,000 on an institutional NFT and spending $1,000 on retail NFTs. Massive difference, and you'll see. Now, it's to mint on Friday, September 23rd. They get 1 week, all right, and then October 1st at noon Central Time. Think Chicago, Illinois, United States. That is when the whitelisters get to mint. Then after that, the whitelisters get 1 week, and then it goes to public sale on the 8th of October. I'm just going to be honest with you. Unless everybody comes in and mints out the institutional round, man, and we take at least, 1.5 mil out of the market right now that was going to buy retail NFTs, I don't see it going to whitelist. I don't see it going to public sale. Your best bet is get in on that institutional that I'm helping facilitate through Wolfer Finance. I'm the realest dude out here, and I'm telling you that. And go check my track record with Wolfer Finance with what I was saying then, and see if it lines up with what happened, and then make your own inferences from there. If I'm telling the truth on this one,
Hey, let me throw this out there just to kind of clear some things up. The reason why Drew was talking about the institutional side, originally we envisioned the ideal side to be like different projects to bring in some money, like a hydro whales investing in us or something like that. But what we found is there was a lot of kind of FOMO that was building on the 7,500 retail NFTs, that we had many members of Wolfer people that were concerned that they weren't going to be able to get, as many NFTs as they want. Like, so we don't have any concern that the 7,500 are going to sell out. People are asking, hey, can you guys put a limit on, wallet address and all that stuff? And we really don't want to do that. We did compromise, and it's kind of a higher number of 250 NFTs per transaction. So this is why Drew, me and him kind of put our heads together, and we said, hey, what can we do to try to take some of the Wolfer demand off of the retail NFTs to allow people, whitelisters, to actually get an access to, to even mint an NFT. So the NFTs, as Drew said, for whitelisters, the retail NFTs, $250, October 1st at 11 a.m. Eastern Time or 12 p.m. Central Time.
Got it. No, that makes sense.
Actually, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, Larry. Noon Central.
Oh, darn.
Yeah.
Yes. I he corrects me every single time. I don't know why I do that. Maybe I'm dyslexic.
It's all good. It's all good. I do want to be respectful of your time. So, this is a very long AMA, almost an hour and a half now, but this is a really good conversation, and I really appreciate you guys taking your guys' time to come on, talk to us about what you got going on, and it's really exciting stuff. So I appreciate it, guys.
Hey, I just want to throw this out there. Come in. I want everyone, if you have questions and if they weren't answered here, come into the PreSend Discord. Ask me a million questions. I don't care. Well, maybe not a million, but come in, ask your questions. I want everyone to feel comfortable and have all their questions answered about PreSend. So come in, join us, and ask away.
Yeah, I just dropped the PreSend Discord link for those of you who are not in there yet. So,
And I'll send you the link just in case people, because again, everybody's freaking out. I get it. In case they want to get into the Wolfer Finance Discord for the institutional. pool, that's fine. We got your back 100%. One of my moderators, her name's SQ. She's a pineapple. She's the one that's facilitating it all. At the end of the day, no one is taking your money. You're sending your money to PreSend. You're sending it to the wallet that all the other institutional investors are sending their money to at the end of the day. So I don't want you to think that, like, you're actually pooling these funds to some person that you don't know. No, it's going directly to the project. And, you know, I can verify that. That's coming straight from the horse's mouth. And anybody that has more than 50K or 50K or more, they can come directly to me. But if you have less than that, you have to go through the Wolfer Finance because they have more than 50K and they'll be happy to add you. So
Awesome. Yeah, I dropped the Wolfer link as well in the AMA questions channel for those of you who are interested in that institution round with the $1,000 increments. But yeah, a big shout out to the audience for tuning in. A great turnout. So I know that
This was
you
awesome,
all spending an hour and a half of your time listening to what we have to say. I mean, it really means a lot. I know I say it every single time, and I probably sound like a broken record, but I genuinely mean it, and it's very humbling. So I appreciate it, guys.
Hey, and I just want to say
worth money.
I want to say it from a fellow content creator, right? I've been trying to say this more often to projects that are actually either doing something, doing well, showing gratitude. So I just want to say, you know, Larry, Drew, I really do appreciate you all bringing something of value to the space because, as Drew can probably attest to this, right? It's very, very mentally draining to constantly seeing, like, you know, negativity, people getting wrecked, people getting, you know, just money lost, you know. So it's really good and refreshing to see people that have real ingenuity and value to the space to add. So I just wanted to say that. And to the audience, I apologize you didn't hear a lot from me today, but I did listen to a lot of pre-sends, and I didn't want to like overload them with the same questions that I know they probably get all the time anyways. So I just wanted to ask a couple that have still been on my mind. So thank you for having me here, Zach.
Of course, I appreciate you.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Thanks,
yeah,
Austin.
and I just want to tell everybody, like, time is precious. Obviously, I live my life by that code, man. Like, time is everything to me because you can always get more money. I could care less about money. It's all about time to me. You cannot get more time, and you don't know when your time's up. So I just appreciate everybody coming in and choosing to spend their time with us, speaking about PreSend, listening to what we have going on over here. And I just want that to be 100% clear with everybody. So thank you.
Yeah. Take care, everybody.